everybody, this is the Vikstrand. Today we're going to talk about A Room with a View from 1985. And I must say that the room that they traded from the Emerson fellows was a really impressive room, because the view they had from that room, that was, man, they must have paid an arm and a leg for that room. And you know, for a guy who has stayed a couple of nights in a hotel in Florence knows that it ain't cheap, man. Let's take a look and see if they can get anything else going except for, you know, the room with a view thing. This is A Room with a View. Florence, 1906. Lucy, played by Helena Bonham Carter, has just come to Florence. It's kind of a, you know, coming out thing when, you know, they're being shown what's it like down in Europe and stuff like that. She's there with her cousin Maggie Smith. Lucy has lived a very sheltered life, and she hasn't really experienced anything, you know, outside of her, you know, her own little world. So the meeting with the culture of very early 20th century Florence is kind of a culture shock to her. At dinner, when they are very, very stuck up British and also doesn't enjoy the food that much. What is wrong with you, you morons? They trade rooms with the Emersons. They do the, you know, trading of rooms things with the Emersons a bit begrudgingly, you could say, and that doesn't, however, stop them from, you know, striking up a kind of a relationship with them, and, you know, they follow along to the most romantic locations outside of Florence and stuff like that. And Lucy and the younger son of the Emersons, played by Julian Sands, kinds of hit it off, and they, you know, share some moments together. Nothing really happens because Maggie Smith is the world's biggest cockblocker. However, 1 year later, Lucy is back in jolly old England, and now she has gotten married to Mr. Vine, the most stuck-up of stuck-up British, played by, oh, what? Daniel Day-Lewis. Well, business just picked up quite a while, if I may say so myself. And she's sort of happy in this marriage, but lo and behold, they have some new tenants on, you know, their property in a small little villa the Emersons have moved in, and now she's all, oh, what am I gonna do, and stuff like that. So this is essentially A Room with a View. This movie is filled with lots and lots and lots of very, very, very good actors. Julian Sands is really good. Daniel Day-Lewis is good. I mean, he's a fucking chameleon. I mean, he played Bill the Butcher and Abraham Lincoln, and he played, you know, the guy from Last of the Mohicans, and, you know, There Will Be Blood. This guy is incredible, and of course, he's fucking amazing. This is one of the first movies I've seen with Helena Bonham Carter. It's weird to seeing her looking this young. She was 19 when this movie was made, so, but she looked like she was about 12. But nevertheless, we have some pretty amazing actors, even though I think that Judi Dench could have had a lot more screen time. She was by far one of the most interesting of the characters, because most of these characters are really, really cold, and they don't have a lot of personality going on. And I think that this is supposed to be, you know, the Edwardian era and stuff like that, and, you know, you're not supposed to show your feelings, you're not supposed to show your emotions. And in a movie like, you know, Remainders of the Day with Anthony Hopkins, it worked well there, it worked gangbusters. But in this case, it kind of doesn't, and we also have a lot of anti-chemistry between lots of our actors. This may be, you know, done on purpose, just so we can understand that this era, you know, was very kind of, you know, stuck up. But we also have all of these weird little comedy moments, or I think there are supposed to be comedy moments, when we have this weird three-way dance with three naked men in a puddle. I think that is supposed to be comedy, but I'm not quite sure about it. The other problem this movie settled with is Lucy herself. She is a very terribly written character, and Helena Bonham Carter, despite being a very good actress, can't get anything, you know, feasible out of this character at all. And this ending up that you just don't care about what happens to her and the choice and stuff like that. There is also a lot of cases where, you know, conversation kind of just goes nowhere, and sequence kind of, you know, ends just, and it feels like there was a lot left on the cutting room floor, you know, when sequences feels a bit missing. Maybe the book this movie is based on, you know, focuses more on, you know, the class and love and what have you, but they didn't really go for it. This movie has a really weird structure to it, because usually you have a strong first act or you have a strong third act. This movie has a really crappy second act. I was so bored because absolutely nothing happened except for the, you know, 3 men naked in a puddle thing. Except for that, nothing happened. Should you see this movie? For its historical purposes and for, you know, viewing all the wonderful sceneries and the magnificent cinematography, yeah, you can view it for that. And, you know, seeing all these great actors pulling off pretty good performances and stuff like that, yeah, you can do that. But the story is very mundane and was very boring. This was just really not my type of a movie when all things considered. Was this movie just hamstrung by its own era where it took place in? I don't know. But it is just a movie I watched and I saw it, and then I kind of moved on and didn't thought anything about it anymore. Fun fact, I was originally going to review this movie when we were in Italy 2020, but I ran out of batteries and that was my last day, so I never did it. So I'm doing it in a slightly colder climate now, 1.5 years later. But A Room with a View is a totally serviceable movie that people other than me will probably enjoy more than I did, because this is really not my type of a movie. It's good actors, it's pretty good writing, I guess, but it is just a movie that never really grabbed me. Despite all the great actors and despite all the fantastic cinematography, this movie can't get anything more than 39 points. It's just a bit boring, and I just didn't care enough. So I'll see you next time from Well So and So reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.